Right now, lines are being drawn and sides are being chosen. Wallahi, I'm seeing the most liberal imams in America saying, that's it. We will no longer be the same with you. We will no longer be the same with you. When our brothers and sisters are dying, all you can focus on is what happened on the 7th of October with Hamas. That's all you can focus on. That's all you care about. You don't see what's happening to our brothers and sisters. You don't see their plight. What is it when a Muslim dies and gets killed? You don't care about that? Wallahi, these liberal imams and liberal activists in America, they're waking up as well. They're saying that there has to be a level of disassociation now. How is it? Because what did all the activism do? Black Lives Matter and all these things. They were doing all that in America. They were chanting and raving and being activists and standing up for... But now, this is a battle between truthhood and falsehood. I want to take you back, call it to 2012, yeah? We went to Thorpe Park, Alton Towers, sorry, with my younger brother and a few of the boys, etc. And I recently was just like checking some of my old hard drives. I was going through some of the old pictures. And in those pictures, I saw me, my younger brothers there. And then I also saw a few boys that came with us to Alton Towers and a few boys that used to chill and hang out with us, etc. And they used to come to the masjid and they were there. And now I look at that picture and I see those 3-4 boys that were with us, smoking weed, got girlfriends, getting drunk, not practicing, parents are not happy with them, just mess their lives up. And then I look at my younger brothers, I look at myself, I look at a few of the other boys that have been with us, Alti was with us, a few of the other guys live there. And I'm thinking to myself, what was the one difference between us and those brothers who just fell off? And I looked at those boys and subhanAllah, I love them all so much, right? But I noticed one big thing with all those boys, there was something that was same. And that big thing was this. When you want them to start practicing their religion or coming to the masjid, they never had enthusiasm. And this is very, very important. They never had enthusiasm. Meaning, they would drag their feet. If the boys are coming, they'll turn up. If their dad's coming, they'll turn up. But they themselves were not rushing. They weren't like eager. Like they got this spirit, this fire within them. They didn't have that. And that's the first thing they didn't have. The second thing was that they would always keep friends with them. And it was like, these friends were on the side. And you know what? Wallahi, some of them weren't even on the side. These friends were just like they were just casually, used to just check up on them, see where they are, whatever, etc. And some of these friends of theirs, they would meet up with them once a month or whatever, etc. But they would keep them there. They would have them there, like they're boys, like, you know what I mean? Just to kind of every now and again see what they're up to, you know? And all of those boys that didn't stay on deen, they all had those friends. And the other day, I was sitting with some of the brothers, and one of the boys I saw, I shouldn't have, but I saw him on his Instagram. So he was like going on Instagram, I was just peeking and being a bit nosy, right? So I was looking at his Instagram, what he's doing. So he's flicking through stories. He's flicking through Instagram stories, right? And wallahi, this guy's a good kid. He's a very good kid. Like he's like, when I mean good, mashallah, like he comes to the masjid and he's involved and stuff like that. And when I saw his stories, all I was seeing was like guys doing them gang signs or whatever. It's just stupid gang signs, right? And I'm thinking to myself, subhanAllah, I'm thinking, bro, you're like, you know what? You're like, from the age of like 13 to like 17, you're within that range. And even though you're a good brother, even though you're a good kid, even though you come to the masjid, yeah, you're looking at the lives of those people, even if you don't even aspire to be like them. Just the fact that they come onto your screen is the dust of it is just rubbing off on you. You're inhaling the dust. You may not even want to be like them. You may not even aspire to be like them, but you're inhaling that dust. It's just coming within your life. And what happens is the accumulation of that eventually leads to you and what you aspire to do and what you aspire to be like, and one bad day in your life and you feel like rubbish, you feel horrible, you reach out to those boys, or you message them, or you start hanging out with them, or you start looking for belonging, and then, that's when things start to go wrong. And what does dancing with the devil actually mean? Shaitan, remember boys, he's not going to come to you and he's not going to say to you, go and commit zina, go and drink alcohol, go and smoke weed. He's not going to come to you with those. Shaitan oftentimes comes to you slowly. He comes to you with whispers. We know them as khutuwat al-shaitan, whispers of the shaitan. And I want to tell you the story of a man called Barsisa. Barsisa was a man of Bani Israel. And Barsisa was the best worshipper you could ever have. He would worship Allah all day, all night. And once upon a time, there was some men in the village that Barsisa used to live in. The call for jihad came. So then they went for jihad. They went to strive in the path of Allah. They went to defend the oppressed. They went to go and fight for Allah's cause. So then what happened was that Barsisa, he was left in the village, and they said, we have our young sister. We have our young sister, but we can't trust anyone. Who do we trust? And then they were discussing amongst themselves, and they said, we can trust Barsisa. All he does is worship. That's all he does. They went up to Barsisa and they said, Ya Barsisa, can you look after our sister? He said, no, not me. Not me. I don't want to do it. Because he was aware of shaitan. What could happen? What could go wrong? And then what ended up happening is they said, Barsisa, look, listen, we really need someone right now. We need to go. No one to look after our sister. Don't worry. Just anything that she needs, whatever, she'll call you behind a veil, no problem. Barsisa reluctantly said, okay, fine, I'll do it. So what would happen is Barsisa, he would go and once a month, he would go and check up on their sister. He'd stand outside the house and he'd give a call. He'd say, Assalamu alaikum. And she would say, Wa alaikum assalam. And he said, is everything okay? Do you need anything? Is there anything that you need? And she would say, I'm okay, or I need this, or this and that. And he'd fulfill the need. Months would go past, every month he'd check up on her. And then one time he came up to her and he said, do you need something? She said, yes. And then he went and he said, Assalamu alaikum. Are you home? I've got this thing for you. She didn't respond. He went inside. She was, she was sleeping or lying down. So he called her and he said, Assalamu alaikum, I've got this thing for you. Here, can I leave it at the door? And then she said, Jazakallah khair, thank you, etc. And then what ended up happening is, Barsisa felt a little bit closer to her. And then they started getting into just casual conversation. It wasn't anything deep. It wasn't anything detailed. It wasn't anything explicit. And then slowly Barsisa would stand at the door and he would converse with her and just see how she is and check up on her. No longer he was screaming from the outside of the house. He was standing inside the house, behind the door. And then slowly Barsisa and her we start talking for 5-10 minutes, and the conversation would get a little bit more funny, and they'd have some banter, and they just start joking around. And Barsisa then said, look, listen, at the end of the day, I'm standing outside. Look, let me just stand inside and at least I can see her, and then we can have this conversation. They're laughing, they're giggling, they're joking, they're having this conversation. Months and months and months go past. And eventually Barsisa would no longer see her every month. He'd come and see her every day. And then from every day, what would happen is he'd go and see her for not 5 minutes, but he'd see her for 5 hours. And then they spend more time together. And then they'll be talking to each other. And then they're sitting with each other. And then they start touching each other. And then from touching, Barsisa committed zina with the woman. And when Barsisa committed zina with the woman, he was so regretful and thinking, what has he done? What has he done? And she fell pregnant from that as well. And then, when she fell pregnant from that, Barsisa started panicking. And Barsisa then, he went up to her and he was so remorseful, regretful, but he didn't know what to do. So then he killed her and the baby. And then he buried her and the baby in the garden. And then a year later, the brothers came back from jihad. They said, what happened to our sister? And then Barsisa, he had to make up a lie. He said, look, she fell ill and then something happened and then, she died or a wolf ate her or something. He made something excuse up, right? Whatever. Anyway, the brothers both had a dream. At the same day they had a dream that their sister was buried in the garden. So then they went to the garden, they both told each other the dream, they went and dug up the grave and they saw the woman with the child. And then, remember, the only person in contact with them, with the sister, was Barsisa. So they knew Barsisa was the only one that committed zina with her. And then what ended up happening is that he was then ruled to get executed. He was going to get killed. He was going to get, his head chopped off, because that was the rule back then. And then what ended up happening is, as he's going to get executed, Shaitan came to him and said, I brought you into this mess and I'm the only one that can take you out of it. Do sajda to me now and I will help you. Barsisa, all his years he's been worshipping Allah. In the final moment just before execution, he does sujood to Shaitan, and Shaitan said, that's all I wanted. He gets executed and he dies as a mushrik. Shaitan will not come to you, brothers. He will not come to you straight away. He comes to you through an opening, a small opening, a little door. And sometimes, guess what that door is? Seeing someone's Snapchat story. Having a girl on your Snapchat, looking at her story, and then she adds you to her private story. And then you flicking through that. And then you thinking this is harmless, it's nothing. It doesn't mean anything, right? It's innocent. I'm just having banter, whatever, etc. What you lot go on Snapchat? Happy birthday to me, like everyone's just flipping, like what? Wallahi, like I saw 22-year-old brother, yeah. My guy's got a full beard, more life, happy birthday to me. Bro, like yes, like 6 years old blowing out candles or something. Why do people do this? Why do people act like that? They act like that because they see someone else act like that. Some of the good kids in our masjid, good youngsters, good upbringings. 4, 5, 6 years later, more life to me, more life to me. Like, when did you start talking like this? You don't talk like this. You guys are from good homes. But the problem is that you've got someone there on your snap. You're looking at their story. You're looking at what they're doing. Why? Because, you're bored. You don't take accountability of your own self. You don't look within yourself, thinking to yourself that, you know what? I'm going to hold myself to account. I'm going to be very vigilant over what I see, and when I scroll, what comes on my feed. And these are some of the things that we need to be very, very careful of your Snapchat, of your Instagram. Who you see and what you see on a daily basis. It enters through your eyes and your ears and it goes into the valley of the heart. And this heart is what you have to present back to Allah on Yawm al-Qiyamah. Allah says in the Quran, يَوْمَ لَا يَنْفَعُ مَالٌ وَلَا بَنُونَ إِلَّا مَنْ أَتَى اللَّهَ بِقَلْبٍ سَلِيمٍ. On the day of judgment, on that day, children or wealth will not benefit you, will not avail you at all. The only thing that will come to your help is a pure heart. And that heart is going to be the thing that you present to Allah on Yawm al-Qiyamah. And that is the one thing where anything that you listen, that you hear, that you see, it's all going down into your heart. So boys, when I say to you guys, remove those people off your Snapchat, remove those people off your Instagram, stop following these boys from your school. And there were some youngsters, and wallahi, I love these boys, I love these youngsters. We were coming back from London one day, and they were in my car, and they know who they are, and I'm not going to point them out here, right? But basically, what they did was, so there was this kid from their school, and he made a post on Instagram, and this Instagram post, it was just him out in London doing them poses, just like loads of shots of him just standing out, like, outside the tube station, and the caption was something stupid like, rise and grind or something dumb, yeah? Anyway, he's standing there, they're like posing, and all I see is like loads of boys from the same school resharing it on their story. And I'm thinking, does this post have any value? Like, am I learning something now? All I'm seeing is some next man with some some brand new Air Forces and some nice jeans, posing and looking all sick. What benefit does I have to share it? And a few of these boys shared it. So I said to them, why did you guys share this post? Why did you share it? And they were like, it's just sharing it, just share. And may Allah bless them, they're sincere young brothers. So I said, listen, let me ask you the question. You shared this because you felt you're going to be held accountable by that person or your friendship group if you didn't share it. They said, you know what, to be honest with you, yeah, you're right. You're right. We shared it because we were afraid of being the ones not to share it. Like everyone's showing love and we're not showing love. And that's the start. Wallahi, brothers, listen to me. That seed right there, where you do things for your friends, for the acceptance of other boys, that is the start of your destruction. I'm not going to mince my words. That is the beginning of your downfall. And you know when it starts? Year 9, year 10, that's when it begins. Where you start doing things, resharing things, posting things. Why? Next man's watching me. He's got his eye on me. He's looking at me. That's when your destruction starts. That's when your downfall begins. And let me explain to you guys something. Wallahi al-azim. If there's one thing that I thank Allah for giving me, it's the art of not caring what others think. Especially when I was at school. It can work to your advantage or it can work to your disadvantage. It worked to my disadvantage because, you know, when I was younger, I was good at drama and I was good at kind of, in drama I did like did a comedy sketch and like people thought it was cringe, but I still did it, right? You know, I didn't care what people thought of me. But then wallahi, let me tell you what really helped me. When it came to me leaving my friendship circle, when I started practicing, I didn't care what they thought of me. I didn't have any consideration of what they're going to think or how they're going to hold me to account or whatever, or I'm going to feel out of place of this friendship circle. I said to myself, hold on a second. I don't believe what they're doing is right. Why the hell am I going to hang out with them? Why am I still going to move with them? Why am I still going to be with them? Why am I going to rub my shoulders with them? What? Because if you as a young person understand and know that if something is not good for you, you should be able to stay away from it. But wallahi, we are weak. We are so weak. We are feeble. We're so fickle. We're so dumb. Why? Someone's doing something, we're just doing it for ratings. Wallahi, we do things just for ratings from next man. Just hoping that someone else looks at us and is happy with us or whatever. We are social creatures. Fight that desire for acceptance with the wrong crowd. Let me say that again. Fight the desire for acceptance with the wrong crowd. When you feel the need to fit into the wrong crowd, that's when everything falls apart. And so my beloved brothers, so many of you young new faces here in the masjid, alhamdulillah. You guys are coming to this event. Just know one thing, that all of these brothers here in this masjid, they are your brothers. They love you for Allah's sake. They want the best for you. Alti's sitting right there. I've known him for 12, 13 years now. Wallahi, like Alti, we've had our ups and downs, right? You know, there's been times where sometimes you got frustrated with me and sometimes I got frustrated with you and whatever. What's that? You probably haven't. I've got frustrated with you though. No, I'm joking. But guess what? In the end, it's all love. Why? Because I know he wants to see me in paradise. Wallahi, do you know how deep that is? He wants to see me in paradise. And that's why I spend time with him. That's why I hang out with him. That's why he's my boy. That's why he's low maintenance as a friend. Wallahi, I could see him in 4 months' time. But bro, it's love. Why? On the same mission. He'll pop up to me, he'll be like, bro, this new revert, he took his shahada in the masjid, I'm spending some time with him, any tips, what should I do, this and that, blah, blah, blah. I'll message him, we're talking about the deen. We're talking about Islam winning. We're talking about Islam progressing. He's 6 years older than me. We didn't go to school together. I went to a different school to him. We grew up in a different kind of, friendship circle. It's totally different. But guess what unites us and guess what that bond is? That's the bond of Islam. Find brothers in and around your circle, in and around your town in High Wycombe, in your community that you can hold on to, that will want the best for you in this world and the next. Because wallahi, listen to these words right now. Anyone that can turn away from Allah, sooner or later he can turn away from you. Because if he's not loyal to the one who created him, you have done much less than that. You didn't create him. Sooner or later he'll turn away from you. Because there's no loyalty outside of Islam. There genuinely isn't. Right now you pick your friends because you're in the same school, college, sixth form, uni. Sooner or later what's going to end up happening is that friendship circle is just going to die out. Who hangs out with the uni friends after? Everyone dies out, man. So I don't believe in day ones, I believe in day twos. Your day twos, who are they? Your day twos are the ones you meet with on a common goal. Your day ones, yeah, you know what? Wallahi, I've still got friends from school. We'll talk about, oh bro, do you remember in year 6, yeah, oh man, or year 7, yeah, when, yeah man, you were in class and you farted, and we're just having banter. Yeah, cool, that's okay, that's it. That's the end of the conversation. Wallahi, we're like 30 years old and we're still chatting about some fart in year 7. Honestly, on a level, that's all the conversation happens. That's it just dies out. I see some of these boys in the gym, my old friends from school. Oh, do you remember that teacher? Her voice was husky, bro. Like, cool, okay, that's it. You don't have anything else. Wallahi, you don't have anything else. But this is why you need to create those bonds of brothers who are practicing on the religion. You know, aunties come to me, yeah? Even today, about 45 minutes I was on the phone to this sister. She's a single mother and she's got a son who's 15 years old and he's not practicing. And she said to me, brother, what should I do? I said, look, the number one thing, get your son to spend time with brothers who are on the deen 1 or 2 years older than him. If he's 15, 16, 17-year-olds. And that's why I'm so proud and so happy when we have young da'wah leaders like Isa, like Abdul Hasib and Omar and all these other brothers all around you. Like Ayman, like all these young brothers who are practicing, who love Islam, who come forward and they volunteer and they sacrifice and put their effort in for Islam. Wallahi, don't ever underestimate the value of such young brothers in our jama'ah, in our community. Because genuinely, it's through the efforts of these young brothers and all of us staying together that we will have guidance for the next few years coming. I'm sure those of you who go to RGS have seen, subhanAllah, over 120 people coming for Jummah. Same for John Hamden as well. Let me share something with you guys, my beloved brothers. Right now, there is a big wave that's happening. There is a big momentum shift when it comes to people practicing Islam, especially with what's happening with Palestine right now as well, brothers. Understand and know one thing. Globally, there's a shift. Allah Azza wa Jal, let me explain to you what's been happening. Like from purely a historical, geopolitical perspective, I'm going to paint to you a narrative. When the Ottoman Empire got folded, it was coming to an end. The Ottoman Empire was coming to an end in fighting Islam, and the countries in the Arab states were becoming secular. In Afghanistan, they were wearing skirts. In Libya, they were wearing skirts, women, in the early 1900s. So Islam was coming to like an end because the Ottomans adopted like a very kind of Sufi kind of tariqah, and religion was just sentimental and values and swords and designs and masjids and just sculptures and monuments. That's what religion became. So when they dissolved in the early 1900s, loads of people then, everyone became countries then. Everyone became countries. Muslim countries, it was no longer a caliphate. The Khalifa was no longer there. It was all just nation countries by themselves. Borders being drawn by the non-Muslims. And then what ended up happening is, Islam was dying out. Barely, 20,000 people would go for Hajj. Okay? As time goes on, and as the West waged a war with the Muslims, and as things happen, and as time was progressing, you were seeing that, subhanAllah, even in my own family, my own family, 20, 30 years ago at weddings, one person would get up to pray salah. 20, 30 years ago in my whole household in the UK, a good 80, 90 people, my grandma was the only one that prayed salah. And even then it was on and off. Times have changed after 9/11. Where they tried to extinguish the light of Allah. 9/11, the whole plan was to remove Islam. Just totally get rid of it. It's dying out, get rid of it. But wallahi, what did they do? They plot and plan, but Allah also plots and plans, and Allah is the best of planners. The biggest ever single revival of Islam we have ever seen in history after 9/11. And then what ended up happening is, we're seeing now a sprouting, a blossoming of young children, especially now on TikTok and Instagram and social media. We're seeing Islam at the front. And then you got these popular celebrities, these influential people, Andrew Tate and other people of their likes, etc., all accepting Islam, footballers, big actors, big people, fighters. Khabib Nurmagomedov comes out. Loads of things are happening, loads of shifts. And now with Palestine right now, what's happening, brothers and sisters? Wallahi, let me tell you something. I can see it all in front of me. That there is a big wave of Islam happening right now. Islam being pushed. I don't know any young, even non-practicing Pakistani young Muslim, whatever, who hasn't shared something about Palestine. A religious affair. And so therefore right now, Allah is softening the hearts of the young people in the West especially. We can't do anything. What can we do? We can't go there and help them. We can't go there and support them. So what can we do? The biggest and number one thing every single one of you can do right now is to focus on your own relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Remember Musa alayhi salam. At the time of Bani Israel, Allah withheld rain from coming and there was a drought. And Musa would beg Allah to send down rain. Allah did not send down rain until they found out that there was one man amongst them that was a sinner and that had not made repentance. Once he made repentance, Allah sent down His mercy and His rain. Your actions, my actions, the state of our heart is directly linked to the affairs of the ummah. That's the first thing. So what you and me all need to do amidst what's happening in Palestine right now is every single one of us needs to take it upon ourselves to have muhasabah, self-accountability, where you hold yourselves to account. You're seeing what's happening here. 500 people got bombed in a hospital. 500 people. Children dying. Blood in the streets. And now, what are we doing right now? We're sitting here. We are helpless. Wallahi, uqsam billah, we're helpless in one regard. Physically, we can't do anything. But you know what we can do? We can use this as a time to revive Islam within our hearts. We can use this time to revive Islam within our lives. We can use this time to make Islam the central focus of our life. Because Allah Azza wa Jal is planning and preparing that region for something great. Wallahi, Allah is planning it for something great. But when will greatness descend? When will victory descend? It will descend when the hearts are ready. I saw a brother inside the masjid here, yeah? Inside this masjid. And this boy, when he comes to the masjid, wallahi, like he drags his feet, man. He only comes when his parents tell him to come. And then one day I see him, and I see him making dua. And he's like, Ya Allah, ya. I'm hearing him like, yo, what happened to this guy, man? This guy, like normally when we're like, he's normally making jokes out of us. He's not really practicing. What happened to him? He used to be cynical. He used to just chat breeze and banter all the time and never take anything seriously. What happened to him? And then, subhanAllah, I asked one of the brothers, said that his father passed away. Oh, subhanAllah, his father passed away. So what has to happen is calamity and difficulty for Allah to squeeze the Muslims so that their heart becomes soft. The difficulty and hardship that is happening in the ummah right now is for a significant purpose for us, and that is for our hearts to become soft. Their pain and their struggle is a means of you reflecting upon your own life. So when you see bloodshed happening, when you see the Muslims suffering, know that Allah Azza wa Jal is uniting the Muslims, and Allah is creating their hearts to be soft. All that rust in our hearts, wallahi, all that dirt and filth that we have gathered on our hearts, Allah is causing this squeeze and pain of the ummah to allow that rust to come off, to allow that softness to begin, to allow us to cry in our sujood, to allow us to feel the pain that they're going through. And through that softness that we find within our hearts, Allah will revive the hearts of people. Inna Allah yahulun bayna al-mar'i wa qalbi. Indeed, it is Allah who comes between a man and his heart. No man can do this. No human, no lecture, no influencer, no one. No one can do anything to change the hearts. Wallahi, the hearts are only changed by Allah. So what you see of the world today, make sense of it through your own life. Make sense of it through your own heart. Make sense of it through your own will and determination to become a better Muslim. Right now, lines are being drawn and sides are being chosen. Wallahi, I'm seeing the most liberal imams in America saying, that's it. We will no longer be the same with you. We will no longer be the same with you. When our brothers and sisters are dying, all you can focus on is what happened on the 7th of October with Hamas. That's all you can focus on. That's all you care about. You don't see what's happening to our brothers and sisters. You don't see their plight. What is it when a Muslim dies and gets killed? You don't care about that? Wallahi, these liberal imams and liberal activists in America, they're waking up as well. They're saying that there has to be a level of disassociation now. How is it? Because what did all the activism do? Black Lives Matter and all these things. They were doing all that in America. They were chanting and raving and being activists and standing up for... But now, this is a battle between truthhood and falsehood. And now all of their activism is coming back to bite them. What is true activism? What is true activism in Islam? It is that you feel the pain of the ummah and you speak up and you wake up. And these, wallahi, may Allah guide and bless these liberals that are in America. But now they're speaking about a concept in Islam which is called al-wala wal-bara, love and hate for the sake of Allah. They're now speaking about things that are real, which what we should have been doing. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. For far too long, we've been glorifying these celebrities. Floyd Mayweather. Everyone buying box office tickets for a Floyd Mayweather fight. Wallahi, I'm sick. I did it once. Right? But now look at what he comes out. I stand with Israel. La ilaha illallah. True colors are showing. You think they care about anyone? They care about money and clout. Money and clout is their God. So this is why they have drawn a line. When they say, I stand with Israel, that means I don't stand with the Palestinians. So the line has been drawn. And as Muslim, let me ask you a question. Put your hand up if you don't know what's happening in Palestine right now. If you haven't heard of what's going on. Everyone knows what's going on, yeah? What are you actually doing about it? No, on a level. What is actually happening in your life? This is what I'm saying. You see the pain that's going through. You know what's happening. It's horrific. But what steps are you taking? And the biggest thing that you can do right now, fixing yourself. Fixing who you are and your identity and your love and hate for the sake of Allah. Choosing a side. This is it. This is the biggest thing. Choosing a side. Choosing a stand. Choosing a posture. Because if you don't have a posture, if you don't stand for anything, you will fall for... If you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. And this is why these events are unraveling those people who have nifaq and hypocrisy in their hearts. If you have hypocrisy in your heart, my beloved brother, you need to realize that that hypocrisy is coming out in your silence. That hypocrisy is coming out that you don't want to change yourself. That hypocrisy is coming out at the fact that you're sitting there idle, seeing everything happen, and you don't look within yourself. You don't wake up for tahajjud. You don't make dua for them. You don't feel that pain. And the scholars have said that a sign of hypocrisy is that you feel no pain when the ummah feel pain. So let us take it upon ourselves to fix our relationship with Allah, our belief, our tawheed, our belief who Allah is. Learn about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, understand who He is, understand what's halal and what's haram. Be amongst the righteous brothers, the righteous people, the righteous friends. And the second thing, listen, it's not just be a good boy and tidy your bedroom. No. Here's what you need to do. Every single one of us as young people right now need to make sure that we are not silent in what's happening right now. Have you ever seen Sky News and BBC? At least every 2 or 3 days they're backtracking. We're sorry, we shouldn't have said this. Sorry, we misrepresented. You know why? The pressure has never been so strong. They're realizing Muslims are not fools. We're not fools. Wallahi, the ummah of Muhammad are not foolish. We aren't to be taken as a joke. Because for us, when we see what's happening right now, we are being vocal and we're speaking up. And we're saying, no, we don't care who you are. Look at what's happening in Jordan and in Egypt, in countries all over the world, in London today. And yet people got their opinions about protests. But wallahi, for me, I'm happy. because I get to see how many people care about the Muslims who are being oppressed. And I love to see that. Wallahi, I love to see that people care about the Muslims. And that pushback is needed on a global level. But change begins at home. Change begins with you. Change begins with every single one of us. And now how silly do you feel trying to impress your boys that are just, you go on Snapchat and Instagram? How silly do you feel now? This is Amrun Azim. This is a magnanimous affair. Children dying. Our brothers and sisters dying. We look at our lives and what are we doing? We fix ourselves. We create an identity. Or carry on scrolling through Snapchat and Instagram and trying to impress your boys with your new tracksuit bottoms or your jacket. Do you see how silly it is now? See how stupid it is now? Boys, wallahi, we don't have time. We ain't got time. We don't have time to mess around. We don't have time to be foolish little kids anymore. That's not how this works anymore, brothers. Wallahi al-azim. We have to all fix up. We all have to fix up. We all have to grow a pair, become men. We all have to understand that right now, we need to develop an identity. We need to become strong as believers. And we need to help each other and help the Muslims. By raising our voices, by fixing ourselves, by looking within our own lives and choosing a side and creating an identity. I am a proud believer. I am a proud Muslim. I don't care what anyone says. Oh Allah, make me die upon Islam. The only izzah and glory and honor I will ever have is of Islam. Do you not feel like that? Do you not feel like that? Do you not feel this flame in your heart to want to practice Islam and to stand strong as a Muslim? Until you get to that level, that stage where you love Allah and His Messenger more than anyone else, your faith is insufficient. But how do these things happen? How do you get to that level? You get to that level through hardship, through tests, through difficulties, through reflecting upon your life, through taking yourselves to account. That's how you get to that level. And so that's why, my beloved brothers and sisters, it's so important that we understand that we are living in a unique time in history right now. We are seeing great events ready for Imam Mahdi and Isa alayhi salam and the final hour unfold in front of our eyes. Wallahi, we are seeing it. We are seeing the unraveling of Allah's plan. You are living amongst greatness. You are living amongst the signs of the hour. We can't hang about, boys. Well, listen, please. I'm talking to you guys, yeah? Wallahi, we can't hang about. We can't just be standard old bog standard Muslims anymore. That doesn't exist anymore. You need to really choose a side now. And that's what I want every single one of us to get out of this talk. It's time to make an effort and create and choose an identity. Are you a Muslim? Are you a believer? Are you someone that loves Allah and His Messenger? And are you someone that lives and dies by them? That's a question you have to ask yourself. I leave you with that thought. And I ask that Allah, that He allows that thought to marinate in your mind. And that He allows that thought to stick with you for the rest of your life. And that you act upon it. Ameen Ya Rabb. Brothers and sisters, to conclude, let's reflect upon our lives. Let's reflect upon our own actions, every single one of us. Know that shaitan comes to you with whispers. He comes through you through your friends. He comes through you through the unobvious doors. Those unobvious doors of you scrolling through someone's story. Wallahi al-azim, yeah. I made this mistake as well. Because you see, when I came on Snapchat, in 2017, I was like a Snapchat noob, right? Just like accepting everyone's ad. And like, I'm seeing like girls on my Snapchat, I'm like, what the? Like, how did this happen? So I'm actively deleting them. If I see something stupid, I delete it, man. Wallahi, I delete it because you need to understand the effects of that. And I'm going to end on one last thing. Who's read the book called Atomic Habits? Anyone read Atomic Habits? You read it, yeah? Atomic Habits was, wallahi, it's an amazing book. It's by a non-Muslim. And it's basically how habits create long-lasting change. If you want to change long-term, you create small, achievable habits. And wallahi, I learned something, yeah? My WhatsApp number got banned. So I basically changed my WhatsApp number. I've got a new number now, for example. But now,
So I had like 900 unread messages on my WhatsApp. I had about over 300 group chats I was in. Now I'm on like 10. But guess what? Past 3 days have been the most productive days of my life. SubhanAllah. I've got so much work done. Why? Just so every now and again, just checking. I've stopped that. I'm so happy that my WhatsApp number got banned. SubhanAllah, these small little steps that you take in your life. And then, for instance, the Quran. I make it a habit upon myself to read at least 1 page of Quran a day, minimum, yeah? And SubhanAllah, like, I had a little dip of my iman a couple of months back. And just like, I didn't read the Quran for a couple of days, 2-3 days went past, and SubhanAllah, it was coming up to a week. And I was like, what's going on? And I realized that the Quran was not next to me. It was on like a shelf over there, so I had to get up and go and get it. But now the Quran is at my desk, and I've got like a sleeve in my desk, and I just have to pick it up and read it. It's so easy for me like that now. Small little things, just like with you, whoever you're following on Instagram, actively go on your list. Who am I following? Will this person help me and benefit me in this dunya or the hereafter? Okay, yes, he will help me, benefit me in this dunya and the hereafter. Let's keep him on there. If he won't help me in the dunya and the hereafter, remove him from there. Now you got a new list of people who will help you in the dunya and the hereafter. So you're following this person, or you're following, let's say you're following a gym page, right? The gym workouts or whatever. Okay, will this page help me in the dunya and the hereafter? Yes, it will. It will help me in the dunya, getting strong muscles or whatever. It will show me gym workouts. Will this destroy my hereafter? Has it got the potential to destroy my hereafter? I go on there and I see a girl with hot pants. Okay, astaghfirullah. I have to remove this now because it's no longer because it's going to harm you. Only have things on there that are going to benefit you. Why have I got this girl on Snapchat? Why have I got these boys on Snapchat? Okay, cool. They smoke shisha and drive cars. Wow, great talents. The flip, man. How is that benefiting me? How is that giving me anything in my life to actually think, okay, cool, you know what, yeah? Alhamdulillah, like I'm learning something. Wallahi, be someone that hold yourself to account. Have some dignity and honor, man. Hold yourself to a higher standard. Because if all you're doing is just watching these people, you're creating bad habits. And slowly those habits will rub off on you. Combined with shaitan's whispers, recipes for disaster. That's why good kids go bad. You know? Good kids go bad like that. It's a slow, steady process. So take a lesson from this, my beloved brothers and sisters. We ask Allah to rectify all our affairs, to guide us, to forgive us, and to allow us to be people who are deep in introspection and reflect upon our lives. Take time, my beloved brothers, to slow down, to reflect, to be someone that's a little bit more deeper. Not just a Muslim that's just scratching the surface, but someone that thinks a little bit deeper. If it means you have to close your eyes and just think about your life and just think about where you are at, go home, reflect. Just use moments of pauses in your life to just start thinking about your life, inshallah, and take things more seriously, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. I love you all for Allah's sake, wallahi. I say these things because I love you, brothers, and I know you all have great potential. And there were many of these brothers who are leaders now that were once in your position, sitting here at 12, 13, 14, 15 years old, and even brothers who are older as well, weren't involved with the masjid. They were at these gatherings, and something would spark in their heart and in their mind, and then they start getting involved. I want to invite every single one of you to join us afterwards, to join us for pizza, to join us, spend time with us, to get involved with WIN, to get involved with the brotherhood, to get involved with what's going on. Listen, one big thing, don't feel shy to approach us and say, I want to get involved. Don't feel shy to come to us and say, how do I get involved? Who do I hang out with? Who can I spend time with? I want to get on my deen. Don't feel shy to do that. Even if you've been away from the deen or the brothers for a long time and you don't fit in, don't feel shy. I will stick it on any of our volunteers if they make you feel uncomfortable. Any of you who want to get closer to Allah, our arms are always open and we welcome you and we love you and we want you to do that. I only have one aim in life, and that is to get to Jannah and take as many people as I can with me. And if that means that we welcome you in and we make you feel comfortable and loved, then so be it. It's going to be like that. Don't feel shy, brothers. I love you all for the sake of Allah. May Allah forgive us and guide us all. Wa sallallahu wa baraka ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. Barakallahu feek. Jazakallahu khair.